It's a cold, brisk Sunday morning in Edmonton, Alberta. And while many are getting ready to go to their weekly church service indoors, a faithful group have their church service outside in this school parking lot every week, rain or shine.
Look, we're in the Lord's Outdoor Cathedral right now.
An outreach of Edmonton's homeless, organizers of this Sunday gathering felt challenged to do something a few years ago when they were confronted with the issue of homelessness on their city streets. They realized that while some of the homeless may never feel comfortable entering a church, they too needed to witness God's love. And they also realized that there are many Christians who call the streets home. Gary Korzan and his wife Colleen are the main organizers of the Sunday outreach.
Well, it was actually a couple that we knew from our church. They were at an event that someone is asking them to look in their community in terms of missions. And they happened to live downtown, and the next morning, the Sunday morning, they looked outside and they saw some people rummaging through a dumpster. And that broke their hearts, and from there they made 12 lunches, and the first Sunday they went out, they just handed out lunches. And the last person they handed out a lunch to them was inebriated and covered in urine because he had a tough night. And when they gave them the lunch, he said to them, he said, "Are you Christians?" And they said, "Yes." And he said back to them, "Well, I am one too." So that, of course, changed their hearts. And from that, what we're doing today is really an offshoot of it.
So now every Sunday for over 6 years, people from all over the city, both volunteers and the homeless, converge on this small parking lot
the sanctuary of God
to hear a short message and receive food, clothes, and simple necessities that will get them through the week.
Well, it started out with 12 bag lunches, and now it's grown to, we call it a marketplace, because as people saw a need, they were filling it. One fellow was making hot soup every Sunday because he knew how important a good hot meal does for a person, giving them proper nutrition. Someone else said, "Hey, hot coffee would be great on a cold morning," which we get quite often in Alberta. And then they started bringing hot chocolate, and then they started bringing treats from a grocery store that we're donating. And then someone else says, "You know what, I can go get some bread from Costco," so they were picking that up. And then someone else said, "You know what, we can give out toiletries. They need razors, they need small items that they can clean up." And as people see a need, it's birthed in them. God just tells them to bring toilet paper is a big need. And so it just becomes a marketplace. And as they go from station to station, they not only get their material needs met, but we're able to build relationships with them and visit with them. And it's grassroots, very organic, and we don't like to control what people bring. It's beautiful, actually.
Charlotte and Jason both live on the streets and have been attending the Sunday meetings for the past 2 years. Today, Charlotte got a winter jacket, and both are taking away clothes and food that will help them through the week and the winter season.
I'm very thankful that this place is here because, like I said, Sunday there's nowhere to eat. Everywhere's closed, really. As for shelters to eat, there's only a couple of those, and they don't feed you very often either. So this is just a great day to have it, and we're actually glad that we can come here.
But this initiative hasn't gone forward without its critics, who feel that Sunday mornings are the wrong time to be pulling volunteers out of local churches. There are also those that don't recognize it as a church. But for Bob Frank, a longtime volunteer, he sees those that come, both volunteers and the homeless, as a part of his church family.
This is church. This is church on the street. You know, it's always been interesting to me. Christians will easily volunteer to go to another country, but to come downtown in their own city on a Sunday morning, they don't view it as church. This is church.
For so many of the street people, they either haven't been in church, or they were wounded by church, or they just don't get to church. And we always say it's uncomfortable for them being in church as much as it's uncomfortable for a lot of church people being out here. And it's a safe time. We like to have families come out, and it's in the morning. We wouldn't come out in the evenings. And for them, it's Sunday morning coming down, that old country song. You know, they've partied all weekend, and Sunday morning there's something sacred about this time. And so for us, it is a church experience.
It is that dedication that has kept them going. And for those like Benjamin, who's been coming ever since the first meeting over 6 years ago, he, like so many, have found a sense of belonging here as well.
Look, we're in the Lord's outdoor cathedral right now, and he's doing wonderful work for us. And this is his territory. And this is what he's doing for us, is that he's teaching us how to reach out to others and how to share with everything.
And it's people like Benjamin, Jason, and Charlotte that keep this team of volunteers committed and coming every Sunday.
You know, God loves all people. Doesn't matter their walk of life, doesn't matter their stature, where they're at. You know, people say the ground is level at the foot of the cross. When you see that, it really is. And it becomes very easy to have compassion on the people. And being here it'd be much harder to not be here on Sunday than to have to choose to be here.
So this winter, just like many winters before, as the temperature drops, Gary, Bob, Colleen, and the rest of the team will continue their weekly outreach, knowing that for some of the homeless in the city, this is truly the only church they have. In Edmonton, Alberta, Magdalene John, 100 Huntley Street.